let's talk a little bit about how this applies, like habit loop.
This is your cup of tea. I'll let
This is
you
my
take
nerd
over.
zone. So, all right, it's one thing to say we're going to control the conditions and protect our nails from the environment and different hazards. All right, well, what does that look like? We can talk about it once, but are we going to keep doing it? Not if we don't change our habit loops and make it a part of our daily routine. So like I said, we've talked about this in detail in the last 30-day challenge and in the nail bite pick videos that we put together. So we'll have links to those in the comments, not the comments, the caption below. So just to recap, there are 4 different phases in a habit loop. You have a cue of something that reminds you to do something, or like, so we're going to talk about nail biting and picking. So, oh, I just have a rough spot right here. That is an external environmental cue.
Right there.
Yep. So that would be a rough spot would be an example of an external trigger. An internal trigger is like, oh my God, I just opened my email and I have to deal with this. So that's stress.
Yeah, like Corey.
So also, like, I'm going to
yeah,
bite them off. So after you get the cue, there's a moment where it's like, so you feel the rough spot, and then it because it happens so fast in our brain, it doesn't seem like it's an individual step, but it triggers a craving. And so the craving automatically triggers the response. It's like, oh, rough spot, need to chew it, response to chew it.
Go away.
And then the reward is like, oh, now I'm bleeding, or oh, now I don't have the rough spot, but I created more problems, or whatever else it is. So we have the 2 phases. We have the problem phase, which is cue craving, the solution phase, reward response. So the moment where you have control over what your results are going to be is in between this 2 and 3, the craving and response. So let's look at that and that. So if you struggle with biting and picking, join us in the nail group. We have one that's specifically for biting and picking.
Yep.
We also have a lot of people who bite pick in the Bliss nail bar. So either of those places is a wonderful, happy, safe place to help you figure out what works for you and what doesn't. So tying this into this image that we use with the nail biting picking habit loop, the trigger impulse. So this is you can see here the key is like a wind up monkey that makes the clapping that's really annoying. It's like you're on autopilot. You have that impulse, and then you do the routine and you get the reward. Even if the reward is negative, it is still some form of reward. So what we want to do is right here in this step right here is the impulse choice. We want to make it a choice instead of just an autopilot automatic response of changing. So instead of like, oh, I have a rough spot, I need to do something about it, you're like, oh, don't pick it, click it. Or yep, that's right, don't pick it, click it. And you, instead of doing that, you trim the little loose spot, you file the rough spot down, you oil it, you use the lotion stick, and you check your results. And that's how that works. You get
the happy reward, because you had it in the other thing was up in the habit 238 was that you're getting a reward from the biting, but yeah, and the reward is what? It's a negative reward.
Mm-hmm. But so if you think of kids that are acting out because they need attention, they will take negative attention as attention or positive attention. And so if they learn at a young age, if I need mom's attention, I just say, mom, 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 until she goes crazy and like, what? Even though mom is screaming, mom is paying attention. And we can get into a lot of other things. So one of the challenges with negative rewards is because a lot of the time it involves adrenaline. Adrenaline cements things with massive exclamation points in your brain. So that becomes your 5-lane highway in your brain, and you can actually get more addicted to negative rewards than a positive reward. Because your brain is trying to protect you. So it gives you adrenaline to, hey, this is a thing. And so your brain can't necessarily differentiate between a negative habit loop reward and a positive one because the extra adrenaline confuses signals.
Wow.
So, after being in an abusive relationship, I can absolutely relate to how you get addicted to those negative cycles. And it is a real thing, like Stockholm syndrome, all of that stuff. Brains are amazing at helping us survive, and they don't always point us in the right direction. So that's why it's so important to be aware of and pay attention of the impulse and choice, to make a conscious choice and choose the actions you're going to take to control the rewards that you're going to get.
Right.
So let's break this down. I won't go through it exactly, but or I'll just breeze through it. So if you're at a stoplight and you're bored, instead of biting your nails or whatever. So the cue and trigger would be you're at a stoplight and you feel a little bored. Craving impulse comes in when you run your fingers over and you realize they're a little dry. So instead of biting or picking, the solution phase where you can take action and achieve change, you pull out your nail oil pen and hydrate while you wait. And there you go. And so it changes your reward. You satisfy that boredom that was going on. And while you're waiting, so your nails bend instead of break, and oiling your nails, your brain begins to associate stoplights with oiling your nails. Ta-da!
Yep.
That's how that works. So here are a couple more. So typing in your computer, you sit down and you look at your hands, are a little dry, or you're like feeling stuff. So the response, remember to swipe before you type. So you can have and helping yourself remember those of, have a pen right on your computer, on your laptop. Keep it nearby. Have it handy. That's why we have the starter kit with 4. It's why we have the travel kit, so you can keep it with you. Make it easy, accessible for your brain to see, here's a visible option to changing what my results are by doing that. So again, don't pick it, click it. Go slow to grow. Be mindful of what you're doing with your hands. Lead with knuckles first instead of fingers first. Netflix and Bliss, like when you're watching the latest Game of Thrones, actually that's all done, or whatever the next thing is. Oh, I just started Orange is the New Black. Oh my gosh, the new one. Holy crap. So like when you get like the anxious or bored or whatever it is, you can do good for your nails instead of bad, which is fabulous. Pee before you polish.
Oh my gosh. We can all relate to this, except for the gentleman in our group.
Well, maybe the gentleman can too. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. And then remember, your nails are jewels, not tools. So if you're opening a pop can, if you are opening a plastic seal, like a safety seal, if you're getting your keys off of your key ring, don't use your fingernails. It's bad.
Yeah. I use keys. I use pens. I use...
The stapler removers are great for keys, for removing keys off a keychain. It's a fabulous
thing. Yeah!
Those are wonderful.
Well, I have jewelry pliers that do that too, because I need it. But yeah, that's a great idea.
One of the gals in our group, she shared the little thumb rubber grippy things that I used to use when I worked at the post office that you use for paper. She uses those to open her polish bottles. Boom!
Boom!
Amazing.
Brilliant.
So you can get a box of those for like $1 or $2.
Yeah.
And just have them on hand so that you aren't using your nails. Nails are jewels, not tools.